All right, everybody, we are live, I think. Somebody jump in the comments and give me a wave or something. Let us know. Also, last week I had a sound issue in the beginning, so I think that is solved. Today we're running some corn liquor back here on the still. That's the Mile High 8-gallon still with the copper torpedo. I did remove the sight glass and the deflagmator, so my column is a little bit shorter. Jim's in the house. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you. And this is, again, that same corn liquor that I'm doing a few stripping runs on, and I'm actually going to do a few different batches. One of the ideas I have for this batch and why I made 40 gallons is so that I can do a video distilling a one and done distillation, a 1.5 run, and a double distillation, and try and do a little taste test and see if I can give you all my opinion on the differences, because I get that question a lot. So that's why I'm still making corn liquor runs. We'll also check the ABV of our rum wash that we did last week. We're also going to be tasting the whiskeys that we have waiting, aging. So it's been 4 or 5 weeks since we tasted those. So we want to do another whiskey tasting and see where it is. My suspicion is that they might be getting close to done. So at least the ones with the oak sticks, about 5 weeks is how long it takes. Sometimes I let them go longer. Anyway, we're just going to taste those.
I can do that.
Zach's favorite part of the show.
Dude, it's the best thing of what we do, right? You work so hard, you labor, you worry. It's like your children, okay? You wonder, how are they going to turn out? Well, now I know.
And Zach brought us some
great value grape juice, sugar, the Homebrew Center, for a little over a month now. And so we're going to try it and see how much the wood has imparted flavor-wise.
Right on. Sounds great. Lucky D's in the house. What's up? Terry's back. Good to see y'all. And then what else? Did I mention the raspberry mead? We're going to make a raspberry mead also tonight.
What's up, Tim? Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Here from Mitten. From the Mitten. What does that mean?
Yeah, everyone's saying
Terry,
that.
Tim? Well, I don't even know
What's
what
the Mitten? Did someone share your did one of your Moonshine buddies or something share the live?
Oh, I have no idea.
Howdy, y'all. Michigan. So Mitten means Michigan?
Okay.
Someone explain. I just now I have to know why that is. Why is Mitten? Is it just common slang? Is there a reason behind it? I've heard of Yoopers. Yoopers. That's an up north thing.
Okay, so what do you want to start with first?
So much to drink.
Let's start by tasting this wine that you put some oak on. Let's see what we got. I'm pretty excited. And this is the regular grape concentrate.
It's just great value grape juice. Yeah,
grape juice.
I think I started with. I started off with 6 gallons of it, and I added about 8 pounds of sugar, give or take.
He says Michigan looks like a mitten.
That adds up. That does check out. I could have I don't know. I didn't really put a lot of brain power into thinking about it. It looks like Lower Peninsula looks like. I 100% agree.
Yeah. David Anderson is in the house. Nice color.
Yeah, it's getting I don't know. Something, the color is changing a little bit on it. It's getting a little darker, but somehow clear. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know why that is.
And what's the ABV on this one? Did you calculate?
We got to 7.4%.
7.4.
7.4. So didn't add as much sugar into the 6-gallon run at the beginning because we had done similar, and I was landing somewhere around like 9 or 10. It was kind of putting people on their butts at my house. So I wanted one that was a little bit more mild-mannered.
Definitely smells like the grape.
Yeah.
Man, that's really good.
It's good. It's just I'm surprised at how long it takes the wood to work into it.
Yeah.
I've got, at this point, because I bottled some before aging any of it, because I kind of wanted to preserve that and see how that would, end up after it's been bottled a few months. And so I only have 3.5 gallons. I have 6 sticks of that charred oak, and it's definitely changed considerably because I took one of the other bottles and I tried it the other.
Yeah.
I think for the better. It's definitely a deeper.
Yeah, it certainly added some complexity. Lucky D, this is just a wine that he made with great value grape juice.
It's a good name, Lucky D. Oh, Lucky D.
Lucky is also one of the admins over in our Moonshine for Beginners group.
Thank you for your service, Lucky D.
And for those of you that are in the live stream, and you'll hear us talk about MFB or Moonshine for Beginners group. That is, why is that not doing what it's supposed to? There we go.
Boom.
There's a link. If you're not a member of the Moonshine for Beginners group, it is a great group. We are active all the time. Lots of experienced folks in there to help out the new folks, and we just have a great time over there. We're always sharing recipes and tips and hints, and you'll get as much out of that group as you will on YouTube.
Terry Baldwin said great value apple juice has a specific gravity of 1.045 alone. Terry, not only is that oddly specific, that's a cool tidbit that you're only going to get here in the live. I love that. MFB is the place to be if you want to get into. Yeah, really cool.
For sure. And I'll just drop those links every now and then in the live because we got 7 people in the live right now. So that's pretty awesome.
I think the camera is like tracking me.
Oh,
it is.
It sure is, isn't it? We got to turn that off. Huh?
We got these fancy cameras and they got to. Boom, there we go. I may have done something with. I'll try to watch what I'm doing with my hands.
Yeah, the camera reads hand gestures, so it'll make it do things. Shane is in the house. Shane is a local. He wanted to drop by and bring something to taste.
What do we got? What's up, brother?
Brainchild that we brainstormed, habanero mango wine.
Habanero mango. Oh man,
Yep.
Look at this.
Here was the sampling from whenever for the leftovers from when I bought.
Best job I ever had. Look at that. Awesome,
so this
man.
is. You can just stand right here.
Yeah.
This is mango habanero, and how did you make it?
What I did was just cut up some mangoes and did a puree on them, and then treat it kind of like making a homemade lemonade. Of just put it in some boiling water, boil it for just a little bit, and then take that mash out and turn it into wine by adding yeast. Sure.
Yeah. And what was did you calculate the ABV?
11%.
Okay.
Love those numbers.
Go grab us a couple of wine bottles or wine glasses off of the drying rack over there. I don't want to mix it with my other.
You want these right here, Cyrus, or you want the bigger?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have to start pacing myself because we've also got to taste some whiskey.
It's gonna be a long live.
And yesterday was terrible for me. I won't go through the entire story, but
no.
I make my wife this oil medicine from the flour.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what I can say on YouTube about that. But so I had a batch to make last night. And
I didn't see a third, so.
Oh, and I'd get it on my hands. It's real sticky. It's like tar. And get it on my hands and just, I think. And then at the end, I was doing a syringe thing to fill it up in the syringe, and it got in the cap, and I couldn't get the cap on, so I sucked it out of the cap.
Got a big mouthful.
And, dude, last night was a rough night for me.
Colors? Or were you smelling some colors there?
No, but it was bad. So I'm not in. I got to pace myself on the alcohol.
You got a hard reset. It sounds like.
Yeah.
We got a right below there. There's a question. Lucky D.
How did he get the jalapeno in it? Just soak the peppers in the wine during ferment or after ferment?
After I did the primary, I put some habanero in there. I just cut it up and did a slight roast on them and threw them in there for a week, and that's it. And then whenever I racked it over, I pulled those out.
That does not taste how it smells. This is a very shocking wine.
Yeah, that's
which I think is what you're going for.
The pepper's definitely in there.
It's in there, but it's sweet too. So it's like
you can definitely, if you don't like habanero, you don't need to drink this.
Yeah, I can't have any more. The spicy's not my thing.
Very good,
but the flavor is good. It's just too hot for me, and that's because I'm just a wuss when it comes to peppers.
And then you tried I made 2 gallons. One of them regular mango, and then one of them I put the habanero.
Yeah. You brought the
and you tried
mango
the mango
yesterday.
Yesterday, today.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, that was good.
Well, I'm pretty partial to that. I'm glad I've got a bottle of it. I'm going to put it up.
You are welcome. That is definitely unique. The mango, even if you don't make it into a wine, if you do the mango like that, make kind of a lemonade. All I did was Google, how to make lemonade.
Oh, I bet it would be a great mixer
it was,
too.
It was amazing. I brought that by. I tried that, and I brought some of that by for y'all too. Just mango water.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a good, refreshing drink in itself. So it lent pretty good to wine. I'm glad it turned out okay.
Heck yeah. Well, and whenever you go, there's an empty wine bottle out in my truck and just sitting in my seat. Grab it.
Pull up right now.
Okay, turning down wine bottles. I'm trying to get like you, my brother.
Actually, I snagged 3 already. Is that right, Cyrus?
Yeah.
I come over here bumming because I had 3 slots for wine bottles. I'm like, I can't stand it. I got to have wine bottles full.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, well, let's move on to, man, I appreciate you bringing that by.
Dude.
No problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks for
I'll
the bottle.
Stand up and get some blood in my legs now. Yeah,
don't pass out.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I sit on my haunches sometimes like a catcher, and then I'll stand up real quick and I'll be like, why am I so dizzy? I've done it. Dude, it happens all the time.
Right. Billy Glass says, why is he at the kids' table? That's all right, brother. You're in now.
You're in here.
No. Oh. Yeah, I wasn't late today, Midnight. Midnight Runner is another one of our admins over in the MFB.
Thank you for your
So all you missed, Midnight, was we were tasting this wine that he made.
Yep.
He did some apple juice wine and put it on oak for a while, and that turned out well. And then we tasted Shane's habanero mango wine, or mango habanero. And that's as far as we've got. So you haven't missed much.
That said, we are 2 wines in at this point, so we do move pretty quickly. David. Okay, everyone knows each other. Midnight.
Yeah, a lot of
Midnight's freaking popular in here.
Yeah, Midnight's very active, very helpful over in the group. So all the people in the MFB know Midnight and David and Lucky D. So we got 19 people in the live. Appreciate that. That's awesome. If you guys could give us some likes, we'll see if we can get that number up. And God, did it again.
Oh no. Camera 3.
Overflowing. So this is what I've already collected on this run. It's been running for maybe an hour and a half.
So fast.
And this is the second time I let it overflow
It is running so fast.
because I can't do more than one thing at a time. I cannot focus on more than one thing at a time. What a mess. The last time I was making a stripping run, I ran out of propane, so I didn't get the whole run. And this time, I guess I'm just going to spill half of it.
Oh, man, that's got to be the worst.
I actually had another propane bottle, but it wouldn't.
Wind
It was
song.
defective.
Yeah. Okay. Please do not be late again. I'm just kidding. Did you miss anything awesome and exciting? Well, we did just have a little product spill. Other than that, we've just been trying wines. I've been making dumb jokes in between Cyrus actually trying to help educate people.
Okay.
What's up, Richard? Yeah, making messes already.
Richard's in the house. I assume you're at work still. Okay. Pipes and cigars. Man, I don't smoke pipes or cigars, but that'd be cool.
This cup did.
I like the smell of pipes and cigars.
Man, I do too. I used to bird hunt with a guy. He always smoking a pipe, and man, there's something about that smell.
Yeah, my cup runneth over. Exactly. Exactly.
Everyone's clowning us. Let us have it. We can take it, okay?
All right, so we're going to do small samples of the aging whiskey.
I hope the audio picked that up. That was a nice.
Yeah. And I've got some water here and a syringe so that I can get an accurate proofing. And I already calculated it, so I'm going to do 3 milliliters of, how'd it come out? 3 milliliters of the whiskey and 2.3 milliliters of water, and then that'll give us a good proof down to about 85, 90.
Or we just set it on fire and see how long the flame. Is that the
right? That's the plan. We got some pyrotechnics going on tonight. All right, let's start with. This is the George Washington rye that I've been aging on the Hillbilly glass barrel lid.
Look at that.
So it's got a medium char on it. And I put it in this jar on 9.3. Oh.
There it is.
Now I got her. Oh, maybe 3 and 2 is not going to work. Like that's not even a shot. And so what I'm doing, guys, is I'm trying to proof this down so that we're not sampling 125 proof whiskey. We could. I just kind of want to know what it's going to taste like when I actually proof it down.
No, I get it.
Just like, I mean, I ain't opposed to it.
I like my whiskey like I like my politics. Watered down. No. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in.
Let's see what we've got here. George Washington rye. And this is just the, I think I fucked mine up.
What happened?
I don't know, I'll taste it. This is just the medium charred oak lid.
Man.
And it's the George Washington rye clone recipe. Oh, that is getting good.
Oh, man. Is there anything wrong with that at all?
That's pretty good right there.
Jeez, man.
I wouldn't mind if it was a little darker, but that's pretty good. And of course, this is not filtered or anything like that.
Man, that's gonna be tough to beat.
Terry, I'm telling you, I'm really liking these oak lids that you make, brother.
Terry Baldwin said barrel strength tasting can lead to funny stories at a later date.
That's true, I mean.
Brother, as long as they don't involve an insurance company or the police, I hope that they do.
Yeah. Okay, and this is also the George Washington Rye. Did it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And the difference is this one has the medium charred oak lid, and it also has a medium toasted oak stick. So it's got a more color, and that's obviously because of the extra oak.
How many runs of the George Washington? I mean, I know you play with it all the time, doing things like this, aging it, wood, different kinds of wood, and stuff like that. But if you had to estimate, like, how many times have you ran that to kind of get where you're at over there and what we just tasted?
Okay, well, aside from the fact that this is the first time I've ever aged any.
Okay.
So it's usually just a white liquor.
Right.
So aside from that, a dozen runs probably.
Man.
The bubble gum behind you that lights up? Yeah, that's always a bad sign. I mean, there may not be a lot of people old enough in here to know what you're even talking about, but
he's talking about the old school
lights. Yeah. All right, so let's see what this one tastes like.
So what before we try this, based off of what's different in these two and how that they've set and the wood that they've set on, what would you expect here different from what we just tried? If
I'm hoping for just this slight mysterious caramel to come through on this one.
Caramel?
That's what I'm hoping for.
I do think that it's got some sort of, that's weird to describe, maybe I'm not quite, a little bit sweeter smell to it almost. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like it does have some kind of even different fragrance than the last one that we just tried.
So
softer. It's
definitely softer.
Yeah.
Definitely a lighter.
Wow.
Lighter is probably not the right word,
smoother.
But softer.
And the last one was smooth. The last one was good, but this is just, there's less. I don't even know how to describe it. I got a lot of wood on the back end too, which
there is a sweetness too on the.
They're sweet
on the front of my tongue.
Yeah. Wow,
that's pretty good. So
I'd give that 12 gold stars.
Yeah, I think I may give them another 2 weeks. We'll try them again in 2 more weeks.
This is what patience and distilling looks like. I have less than Cyrus has.
Lucky's not old enough. Just from his first name. Yeah, Terry. Yeah. All right.
Hillbilly Glass Barrels.
Hillbilly Glass Barrels makes these oak lids, and his name is Terry.
What's up, Terry? Appreciate your lids, brother. Pretty cool.
All right, so this is the Breakfast Cereal Bourbon.
Oh man, this is the one right here I've been waiting on.
Jason is in the house. Hey man, I saw your shorts on your YouTube channel of the mixer that you made. That thing's awesome. Looks familiar. I love it. And then your wheated bourbon mash that you got going. So kudos, brother. Okay, so yeah, back to this Breakfast Cereal Bourbon. It has got, this is the one that just a medium char oak.
This is the breakfast cereal, and I'm trying to think if I've tried it yet. Did I get to try it? I think I've smelled it a lot.
Yeah, you tried it 4 or 5, episode 2
Okay.
of the live stream.
Is there a reason that I don't recall that? How much did
Maybe
we have?
you tried a bunch of it.
Cyrus. Oh, you got Windsong's trying to place you a little bit there.
Yeah.
He seems to be make a lot more than you can drink. Jeff, I never have a problem giving it away. I always make more than I can drink, and I don't ever just have some sitting around that I'm like, man, I guess I'm gonna have to throw this out. You know, it's never happened one time.
It was funny when we moved. We've moved twice in the last 2 years, and it's a little bit crazy. But this is the last time we moved, and we're packing things up, and we're moving back to our original off-grid cabin, and packing stuff up to go in storage, figuring out how, because in 2 years we amassed more junk, and now we have less space and more stuff, but we found so much moonshine everywhere,
every
cabinets and nooks and crannies. Windsong had moonshine everywhere. Yeah. Actually, we moved 3 times. I guess that is true. We lived in, yeah, that's true, 3 times.
Lucky,
this
brother.
Will be a short video.
Man, we're professionals, okay? Let's cut like 30 minutes from now. I'm just on the floor, face down on the floor. Also, really small samples we're taking here. We're not just going to
that's like
town on them.
It's like a half a shot. It's not even a full shot. So that smells really good.
And there's just something about that one.
That's crazy.
It's just really weird that you can get what I would consider to be, if I just popped off at the liquor store and bought a nice bottle of bourbon, say, $60, I take it home, that's what's in it, I'm happy about it. I'm like, oh cool, this is one I'm for sure getting again. It's just crazy that you can do that from breakfast cereal.
Okay, this is the last one. This is also the breakfast cereal bourbon, but it has medium charred oak plus medium toasted oak. It's a lot lighter. Yeah, it's a lot lighter because of the ratio of wood to alcohol, I think is why. And also because there's a toasted stick in it. But let's give this one a shot. Got to make a lot more than your friends and family can drink. I mean,
how big's your family, brother? Maybe hard to do. My wife and I have people over pretty consistently. We'll have a couple bottles there. We'll send them home with some. If you're going through 6, 10, 12 gallons just at the house and giving people a bottle every once in a while, if you're going through that every couple months, you're not going to have too much of a surplus.
Put all that back in. I screwed up.
Put it back in?
Yeah. I was trying to count and listen to your story.
Yeah, it's like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah. And I'm also like, my brain is still a bit of a cloud from freaking yesterday.
You're still like concussed a little bit.
I am. Like, that's not my thing, I don't hardly ever do that. And that's why. I'm such a lightweight when it comes to it.
Freight train when.
Yeah.
Tim Yoon said, I noticed I got a lot more golf buddies. Yeah, homemade product like that'll do that. On an Uber. Welcome in.
Welcome, everybody. If you're new in the live, right now we are testing some alcohol that is being aged. It's a whiskey. I made it from Breakfast Cereal. It's a bourbon, and it's aging right now. So we're testing it just to see how far along in the aging process it is.
Oh, Jesus, baby. Damn it.
I think I'm going to stop that one.
That's got to be as good as that can get, surely.
That is really good. Yeah, we're going to call that one done. And so at this point, I will filter it and then I'll bottle it. But
man,
I'm happy with that one where it is.
I don't think it doesn't get much better than that. That's nuts.
So
cheers from Aussie. Australia, Gary? Really? That's wild. That's cool. What kind of homemade hooch are they brewing down there in Australia? Wow. Oh man, it's overflowing again.
Yeah, Uber will not take me all the way home.
It's gonna be a long Uber ride.
Yeah.
You'd have to think too about after the second or third dirt road that your Uber driver would really be thinking that this is a setup of some sort.
I mean, if you've been to my house, like an Uber driver would be like, "Look,
hey man,
I'm dropping you off."
Can I just drive this? This is the last well-lit area I'm seeing for a long while. Can I just drop you off here?
Yeah.
Terry said, medium toasted French oak and medium charred American white oak are a great bourbon combo too. Bookmark that for later.
Yeah. I also did just get some cherry wood in that I'm going to start experimenting with because I've never done anything with cherry. So if there's anyone in the chat that has some cherry wood advice, love to hear it. So, with song. Yeah.
Thanks for not incriminating us, Winsong.
Yeah.
This is all satirical. Hey, if the feds are watching this, we're kidding. These are all jokes. Okay? That jar is getting up there, Phil. Oh, man, I like that. That's a good call out, Tim. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Cherry is great, but it can be overpowering. I don't know. What do you think, Jason? Like less time, smaller amounts of wood, longer time? I've never aged with cherry, so how many gallons of water per gallon of molasses do you prefer? All molasses only, or molasses and brown sugar? That came from Ron. What do you think?
Well, so the rum recipe that I just did, which we're going to get a specific gravity on, it was 2 gallons of molasses, which is, what did they say last week? 12. I think someone said it was 12 pounds per gallon, either 12 or 14. So
wow, that's heavy.
Like 24 pounds I did a 12-gallon run. But I also used 12 pounds of brown sugar.
I'm sitting pretty high up.
my entire jar is at 110. So it's getting kind of low now, the stripping run. I don't know. I think
I've
110.
Oh.
Yeah. So that means I don't know what the jars are. Like, that's the first time I checked the proof because this is a stripping run, and I really don't I'm not that concerned about what the proof is. So that was the first time I checked it. It's 110. That just tells me that what's coming out of the still right now is probably 80, 90 proof.
Oh, because you took the reading out of the big. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want, or I'll go get it. I'm going to go get a sample from the rum and we'll see how much it has fermented in the last.
All right. Well, this is the song and dance portion of our show tonight. We'd like to welcome No, I'm just kidding. We get set up. Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. 12 pound per gallon. Yeah. What's up, John Boss? Look at this. Did you just look at it? Oh. Welcome.
All right, so we've got.
What do we got here?
That's the rum that I made I think it was last week. And it started at 1.10, 1.100. What do you got over there?
I'm on the wrong side. 1020. Is that right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's probably about right. Yep. So we're already down to 1.020. How's it going? Good. How are y'all? We're doing a live stream.
Oh, cool. Hello. 1020 on the rum. What did you say your starting was?
1.100. So it's come down 80 points in
Eat up a bunch
week.
Of sugar. And how long did you say?
A week.
Week.
I did it last week.
Awesome.
So that's coming along nicely. Might be distilling that next week. That'd be awesome.
Looking forward to that.
8 pounds of molasses and 4 pounds of dark brown sugar for 6 gallon ferments. Awesome.
Put some sugar in there.
I'm going to go dump this.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Welcome in. Yeah, everyone's invited. It's crazy how dark that stuff was. Do you ever get that? Do you ever complete the fermentation on that when it's any lighter than that, or is it always typically that dark?
That's the first rum I ever done.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's the first rum. So
I just always assume you've ran everything that you're ever running like 200 or 300 times.
There's a ton of stuff I haven't run.
Beard.
Is it the beard?
It's your beard.
The
you
beard
automatically get
the beard does say experience.
Yeah. I've done this 70 times maybe last week. I don't know.
No, so like almost all of my experience is in whiskeys, mountain brandies, and so there's lots of stuff I haven't done.
Yeah.
I want to do like a scotch and some single malt stuff.
A little intermission wine.
Yeah.
Oops.
Ron Ford's in the house. Good to see you. See you later, Tanner. Will that work for you?
Do it.
Would that work for you?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Best I could do on short notice, brother.
No, you're good. I'll be with Worship. You said Ron here in a couple weeks or whatever?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Y'all have a good one.
You bet. So we do have an open shop. We are in the homebrew center, so we do get some traffic coming in. And
ABV Club.
ABV Club, that's right.
You guys have seen the bar. If you've seen the other lives, we're Thursday through Saturday, 6 to whenever we feel like leaving. Basically, what you guys are watching on the live is what I or both of us are doing. Come on and hang out.
Yeah, if you're local to Fort Smith, Arkansas area and the surrounding areas, we've got a great little brewers club. So, yeah, Jason, for sure. You'll be happy with a mountain brandy. So we've done all of our tasting, and we've spilt a bunch of liquor and collected a bunch of liquor. And
Oh, this Jason guy again with the Go Tiger stuff.
What's the Tigers?
He's talking about LSU.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm not aware of LSU's mascot.
It's when they start spelling stuff with X's in there. It's an LSU guy.
Oh,
they start spelling stuff all crazy.
Right.
They type like they talk. Like it's kind of like you got to read through the lines to decipher what is what here. Oh.
Lost the screen. Should brandy be proofed down low or kept at barrel strength? I mean,
more of like a preference type.
Yeah, that'd be a preference. Just like with bourbon, it'd be a preference. I don't like my stuff real strong.
It's what you like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever you like. I like mine around 85, 90. So
I think that range is a super comfortable daily, level to be at. And when you start getting beyond that, like 100 proof and some of the, I think that it's just, for me, it's just a little too punishing for like no reason. Like, why not just step it down a little bit? I can drink more.
Right.
That's not so offensive's not the right word, but
right.
I type in cursive when I'm drunk. Do you proof down your liquor before or after maturing it?
So it kind of happens both, but when you say maturing, I think you probably mean aging. And so it is after aging. That's how I do it anyway. Randy is 80 proof kind of guy. Bottle and Bond 100 proof. It's not bad.
First gen sour mash Saturday. First run. Running my first try at a first gen. Oh, okay. So your first try on that particular recipe, man. Awesome.
So midnight, what proof I age my product at, that depends on how much and how fast I want to pull the flavors from the wood. So if I'm trying to pull a lot of the oak flavors, then I'm at a higher proof. Typically, I don't go higher than like 128, 125, 128. And then if I want things to be more subtle, then I proof down to like 110. So somewhere in the range between 110 and 125 is where I'm usually aging at.
Which in some of the flavored stuff that you do, you'll take it down to like 90.
Well,
yeah, 80.
So that also depends. So some of Mama's recipes, she wants like 130 proof.
Okay.
It was 130 proof neutral spirit that I made.
Okay.
And she's got some recipes that she uses that for. And then 120 proof corn liquor is what she makes most of her other recipes for. And then, of course, after you add all those flavors and everything, then it's down around 40 or 30.
So it's a recipe thing for you, where you're just like, okay, these flavors, because you're kind of working with Windsong on that kind of thing. So yeah, that makes sense. Higher proof comes across. Hey, and don't get me wrong about this lower proof, higher proof kind of discussion that we're having here. Every once in a while, I want some high proof jet fuel. I like the burn. Dude, winter, deer camp, cold evening, sitting around the fire, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Stuff. So I like that high stuff too. But. Hello from North Carolina. What's up, Scott from North Carolina?
Welcome. Bryant is in the house.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Okay, so now, what do we got?
What are we doing? Well, we got some stuff we can make back here.
Got some mead to make, so let's do that. So,
you want the P3?
Yeah.
I think it's, well, maybe go back there.
So I'm going to make a mead. This is a raspberry mead. And I just need to sanitize my buckets. I'm going to do a primary fermentation. I'm using frozen fruit. Well, it's thawed, but frozen fruits. I've got 2 pounds. I need to go grab those scissors.
Okay.
But so it's raspberry.
That's what he's got here.
2 pounds raspberry.
See if I can get a good.
2 pounds honey.
Nothing crazy. Get it anywhere. Freezer section. Now, is this kind of like a Viking's blood?
Well, I mean, Viking's
but it's
blood.
cherries in the Viking's blood, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Viking's blood is made with cherries. This is raspberry. And
there you go.
Didn't need those scissors after all. And these bags leaked.
Which is crazy because they're like solid plastic. Pretty crazy.
And so I've got these raspberries, and I'm just going to make sure they're mashed. They're pretty mashed up as they are, so it's not going to take much. But I just want to make sure I mash them all up so that I can get as much of the juice and flavor out of these raspberries as I can. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of pectic enzymes to help break up the cell walls. There's a half.
Boom.
And then, and I didn't, normally I heat up my honey.
Oh, so a little warm water?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. And this is just 2 pounds of honey. This is just Walmart honey. It's just raw, unfiltered Walmart.
2 pounds raw, unfiltered.
And I'm going to let this ferment on the raspberries for 7 to 10 days. And then I'll rack it off. And
160 right off the still is a life-changing experience. Hillbilly Blast responded and said, 160 right off the still almost got me divorced. What was that Theo Von quote? Make you knock a woman up, make you knock a woman down.
Theo Von,
yeah,
he says the strangest stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's like some of the stuff he says, it's really funny because it absolutely makes no sense.
It's the Louisiana in him.
It absolutely makes no sense, but he says it with such a confidence that it makes perfect sense to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hilarious.
And I just put a little bit of water in this jug so that I can try and get as much honey out of it as I can.
See, all he did there, I don't know if it was, I think you guys saw it. He took what was left in his honey that he didn't get out initially. He put some warm water in there, and he's just kind of shaking it around, getting all the rest of that honey out of it.
I've got some of that crystallized. I'm going to have to put that in some hot water.
We're crystallized on the bottom, so. Normal, not a problem.
I got it.
You want me to run some in there?
Yeah, so this isn't warm anymore.
Here, let me just go. Yeah,
I'll take
care of this.
Let that hot water sink. Yeah. All right, so he's going to give me some hot water so that we can get the rest of that honey out. Let's see if I can try and catch up. Alan Bishop grew slowly over time in the barrel. Yeah, he's not the only one. For recipes, I like higher proof neutral that isn't sugar bowl flavored. Means more flavor to drop. Yep. It's also. Yeah. Okay. So once we get that honey in, then I'm just going to add a gallon of water. I'm going to add yeast nutrient, and I'm going to add the yeast, and that's going to be it. So really simple mead recipe. If you're in the chat and you're not someone who is distilling or fermenting, just kind of in here hanging out because you think you might want to you can start with mead, and it's really easy. Mead is the easiest one out of, whether you're making mead or wine or beer or whiskey or whatever. Mead's the easy one. So that's a good place to start.
It is a good jumping off point. Tequila.
Sounds like someone has a live mic in the toilet. You were
at
the sink.
Yeah, I was filling up the sink.
I guess I can go ahead and put this water in while that is heating up.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I didn't think about your mic being on while you're in the kitchen.
Think about that.
We'll get better at the lives.
Yeah.
I've messed so many things up doing this. This is like episode number 6, and it's like every episode I screw something up.
Where we came from, though. I mean, I think I don't know if anyone could even hear us the entire first live.
Right.
I'm not sure. Now look at us. We got cameras that follow our every action that are good quality. Just the lid only. Good. A little stirring.
Yeah, I've got to get that honey mixed up. So that'll take a minute.
It's gonna have a pretty color off the rip. I don't know why I think it's the Neanderthal in me that I'm just fascinated by things that are pretty to look at, but
yeah.
Are you done after this jar?
I don't know. We're going to proof that and see where it is. I'm going to go down to like
this one good?
40 proof or whatever. Yeah.
Where'd the...
There's that. There you go. That honey probably needs a little more time to get warm.
All right. Which one am I reading here, Cyrus?
So proof is the larger number.
Oh, the bigger one?
Yeah. So that's trail. So that's ABV. So it's 30 ABV,
60 proof.
60 proof. Yeah. So 1 or 2 more jars and this run will be done.
Dunzo. Any tails coming on yet?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, we're into the tails.
I'm going to get this little dunk in the sanitization. Go over here and grab a napkin real quick.
So let's talk a little bit about the kind of things you guys might want to see me doing in the lives. What do you want to see me making?
Easy.
What do you want me to talk about? What songs do you want Zach to sing?
On the wings of a snow white dove. Is that what you guys want? That's what you're in here for? Been lurking, finishing up work, doing a tater and oat vodka run tonight. Clinton, that sounds neat. I've never made any vodka.
First attempt at neutral, yeah. Hey, no worries, Clinton. Glad you're here, brother. We've just been, doing what we usually do.
Do you use raw or malted rye for the George Washington?
I use a malted rye. Yeah. Yep.
That's specifically just what the recipe calls for, or
no,
is that
it's
up to your
not.
interpretation?
That's up to your interpretation. I like malted grains more than I like raw grains.
Why?
Especially rye. In my opinion, the rye, unmalted rye, has a very kind of earthy dirt. I mean, it's
just like a raw earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you malt the grains, it changes the flavor and
toast a little bit of that out of there.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
But it's just preference. You could do the recipe with unmalted rye, obviously.
Clinton House said I make a blue spruce based gin with it. Sweeter, not as harsh as juniper berry. Brother, I don't know what blue spruce based gin is, but that sounds way cooler than probably anything I've ever made. Blue spruce, have you ever heard of
that? So it's a pine.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Shows you what I know.
Sure. Yeah.
Not sure why I landed on.
There's nothing wrong with the Birdwatchers recipe. Easy. It's quick and dirty. Pretty reliable if you follow the recipe formulation for it.
Well, that's just a popular.
Yeah, Birdwatchers is a sugar shine recipe. It's named after an account on distiller.org.
Oh, it was so like it's just a guy
distiller.org. I think distiller.org. It's an old like bulletin board chat room kind of thing where distillers would put all their stuff. It's been around for years, and Birdwatchers is one that got really popular.
That's pretty cool.
It's just a sugar shine with tomato juice or tomato paste.
Eastern red cedar. I love the smell of a red cedar.
Yeah, blue spruce equals pine. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Scott,
no worries, Scott.
We won't hold it against you this time, brother.
We are almost done with the run. You haven't missed much. We spilt a bunch of stuff, drank a bunch of stuff, made a bunch of stuff. So,
Cyrus had an embarrassing and viral nipple slip at the front part of our live tonight. You did miss that. If you didn't spill something, are you really distilling?
Right.
Clinton, you're not wrong about that. I don't know if it speaks to me as just a kind of a bad helper, but I think every run that I have participated in with Cyrus has resulted in some sort of spillage, whether minor or major. So that's my credo. I share it with you, Clinton. How we shaping up over there?
I think that honey is probably warm enough to try and get it in here.
Okay. You may have to mix some water with it. There it is. You may be able to get it out of there. It was moving. And I was thinking about this the other night. Sometimes when I'm starting a wine and I'm adding my sugar into the initial fermentation, I notice that I don't always get all of the sugar mixed into my fermentation. If I'm fermenting in a clear vessel, I have a clear vessel and an opaque one. Sometimes I notice in the clear one that I've got some sugar that just kind of won't mix in at the bottom of that. It's not a lot. I don't worry about it, and I've actually convinced myself, I've tricked myself into thinking that sugar at the bottom is still going to be susceptible to the yeast. That's my question. Do you think if I don't dilute all my sugar in at the beginning of a fermentation, I have some sitting at the bottom that the yeast will still feed on it?
I think you should dissolve it.
Okay.
Like if it settles down to the bottom, I think you should
mix it up in there.
Mixing it up some more. Yeah.
Okay. Duly noted.
I don't have the answer, so maybe someone in the
I don't
chat
know
knows for sure.
And I tricked myself into thinking, well, the sugar will last longer into the fermentation when all the other sugar gets eaten up. That is not based in science. That's literally just me in my head saying that I'm going to be okay. When I make a run, usually a damn measuring cup. The measuring cup will kill your ass. If you're taking requests, some Johnny Cash would sit well. Josh, I'm not, brother, but when I start, I'm gonna call out in the chat. And I'm gonna go, Josh Golden. What's that Johnny Cash song you'd like to hear? Convert your sugars first. Terry, you're right. Got the yeast in.
I'm just gonna give it a little stir. I put a teaspoon of yeast nutrient, half a pack of B71. I think that's what I chose. 71B, I'm sorry.
Here's what we've ended up with. Don't know if you can see it. Hope you can. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Oh, look. Oh, no, right here. Nope, not a lick. I'm scared to tilt it anymore because I don't want to spill it, but... And that's it. A gallon of mead and, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, now you just got to let it do its thing.
30 to 45 days, somewhere in that range, you're going to have 4 bottle-ish of raspberry honey mead. Would you still call it, what's the technical title for that?
A Malamel.
A Malamel?
That's the category of what it is because it's fruit and honey, so it's called a Malamel. Okay, convert your sugars first, Terry says. Do you mean invert? Are you talking about inverting them? You were talking about sugar not getting dissolved. Yeah, so if you invert your sugar first, which is 1 cup of water, 2 cups of sugar. Heat it up, boil it, add a little bit of lemon juice. It inverts it. And then it's a liquid.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
It's a liquid, so it dissolves. It's already dissolved. It stirs in real easy.
I've never done that. I don't have a good reason for not doing it, but I will try it on the next run of whatever I do. I normally just pounding sugar in there, pounding fruit in there, adding a small amount of distilled or spring water. Running with it.
Y'all try one of the M-style yeasts for a whiskey.
M-style yeast?
I'm not sure.
Just a yeast strain?
I don't know what the M-style yeasts. I don't know what you're talking about, Jason, when you say M-style.
I've used EC 11118 for basically everything I've done. There was a recipe at some point that I used the DC on. I can't remember why or what it was. Which one has a higher alcohol tolerance?
Between
the EC 11118 and the DC 47?
The DC 47 has a alcohol tolerance of 14%. EC 1118 has 18%.
Okay, yeah. So I used DC 47 on something that I was trying to get right there at that line, and I added more sugar than would necessarily take to ferment, and I think that's why I used that, because I wanted it to cut off right there. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Pinnacle and Angel makes M yeasts for whiskey, so I guess M is just a category for them. I have not tried any of those. No.
M yeast for whiskey. Huh. Jason, tell us about it, brother. I mean, what's supposed to be what sets it apart? 111.18 has a high. Yeah, it does.
I got to get a lid in another jar.
Oh, God. Not the worst problem to have.
No.
Yeah, I like where I'm at as far as talking yeast. I had a good conversation the other day with a guy about EC 1118, how tolerant it was, how high a percentage it could withstand. I don't know. I was hoping one of y'all could tell me. Oh, yeah, okay. Jason, I'll tell you. Sometimes I'm walking down the grocery store aisle. Someone gets me with branding every once in a while, okay? I have no reason why I can say, hey, I'm plucking this off the shelf as opposed to something else other than the fact that it's got a cool package and I need yeast. That's where I saw it. Yep. About Angel being good to help convert grains. He's talking about someone named Angel in Moonshine for Beginners that is good at converting grains.
I think he's talking about Angel yeast being good at converting grains. Angel is a brand.
Josh Golden says, sounds like a topic for a live, different yeast and pros and cons.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You could probably talk about different yeasts, for several lives, let alone one, yeah. We'll jot that down and try to be well read in that subject.
So one thing I'd like to do, I think I've already talked to you about this.
The case?
Everybody knows about the case down in Texas, or most of the people in this chat knows about the case down in Texas.
Yeah.
And with you having law experience, it'd be cool to have a chat about that case.
Yeah,
and what it means, what it really means, and what it doesn't mean.
Well, we can talk 2 or 3, I can run through probably in about 2 or 3 minutes and explain what it is, what it means, under the guise that I am nobody's attorney here, okay? I'm not anyone's attorney. I'm not your attorney or your attorney. Terry Baldwin, I'm not your attorney. Corey, not yours either. I have some at home. But, yeah, that's a cool court case, and I think probably I might build a little 5-minute discussion around here's the case, here's the styling, go look at it yourself, but
implications.
Here's how I would interpret it for myself as far as, how would a court interpret it over here because it's in a different jurisdiction. A lot of you guys that are from Michigan and up north and, down south in Louisiana, we're all in different federal districts. And so it's different how a court where you're at might look at that ruling and consider it and different in how a different court in the jurisdiction where that ruling was held by the appellate court. So it'd be a little different. But I'll get into all of that. Let's try to do that next week. You want to?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I'm going to go reread everything. And Jason said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the case. Yeah. No, we'll do that next week. That'll be something to look forward to next week. I'll open it up and let you guys ask some questions, and I'll just kind of talk about it and what it means for you all and the implications that it may or may not have. I co-pitch with who brought up the Texas case? Who was it? Who brought up the Texas case in the chat? What song said? I don't know.
Actually, I think I was.
Awesome. That'll be, so we'll try to do that. Let's try to do that next Thursday. That way I can have some time to really get into the nitty gritty this week and really look it over and be able to answer your questions should you have any. Again, I'm going to give a 30-second disclaimer that I'm not an attorney. I'm not your attorney, and this is not legal advice. This is just my opinion, man. Like the dude. I got to watch that. That's a sweater, by the way. I don't know if anyone's... The Big Lebowski. This is the sweater. Not the actual real sweater, but it's as good as I can
replica.
Get, okay? It's not even maybe really necessarily a movie quality replica, but it's all I can afford. The dude abides. The dude does abide, brother.
We got 31 people in the chat. Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Kind of in between on having to do something on that stuff. Also suggestions for live streams. There was one earlier. What was it? Yeast. Compare and contrast yeast.
Yeast and you. Yeast and you. It sounds like a sex ed pitch from like. Today we're talking about yeast. I gotta get this.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. So anytime you guys have ideas, I try and jot them down so that, you know.
He said open versus closed fermenting.
Yeah, okay. I'll write that one down.
What else? What else we got? Topics, things to talk about, discussions to have. What are you curious about? I had to take my jacket off. This whiskey's got me burning up in here. Thoughts on mixing a yeast nutrient and a yeast energizer? I do it all the time.
So for me, a yeast energizer is something I'll add in like a step feed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put them in at the beginning, and then I'll add it later.
Yeah. Well, and we just had that. So I just made some apple cider. That's like a holiday wine that I'm making out of apple juice and apple cider. And I came to Cyrus one day. I'm like, man, my yeast, I've got 2 different carboys going right now, and one's doing okay, and it had a little bit more sugar, and the other one's just kind of almost shut off, and it's too early. I'm worried. What do I do? I was panicking. He said, well, just put some Energizer in there. So I said, okay. I put some Energizer in there, and 3 days later, I was foaming through the airlock. I mean, it just completely, did exactly what it was supposed to do. Went in there and started breaking down sugars again, and everything was fine. So Midnight Runner said, Willie Nelson. That's dang right. Cowboys ain't easy to know. Yeah, I got this. I actually saw Willie Nelson in Rogers, Arkansas at the AMP, and it was awesome. I think he was like 90. He was like 90. Just turned 90. They had his big birthday and everything up there. Yeah, so he's 90, and he was killing it. He was on stage with his son. Really cool show. Caught a bandana.
Check the proof. The proof.
Isn't the Energizer similar to DAP?
Yes, it is similar. It's not exactly the same.
I thought that was one of those things where they get you. Like, isn't that similar to D's? And you're like, what's D's? And they're like, D's nuts. I thought that was a DAP. Like,
what's D's?
What's that? Would you dap on these balls? No! I've been had. Wow.
Oh, I grabbed the wrong hydrometer.
Like, okay, I was like, man, what a result. There's no sugar.
About 26, 28. Yeah, so this will be the last jar right here. And we'll call it. And another stripping run done and in the books. And then I'm going to do a 1.5 run with what I've stripped. I'm going to run it in the 15-gallon copper traditional and from Copper Steel Co. And see how that tastes. I'm also am probably going to run a little 5-gallon batch in one of the new Alembic stills that we have here in the shop. Just a single one and done run, and then I'll do a small double distillation.
Diammonium phosphate. What is that? One of those $200 laboratory words? I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what that stood for.
So it's also in like turbo yeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? Just kind of like a built-in energizer?
I don't know exactly. I don't know the science behind it. I just know that's when he's talking about DAP. It's also in turbo yeast. I think it's in the energizer also. Split up the tastings. Spread them out through the live. All right. That sounds good. Yeah, that way, takes us a while. He might be saying you guys are already trash. If you would have
what good is your opinion at this point?
If you'd have just paced yourself.
No, I think when you're doing the smaller sizes like that, it'd be. I mean, I guess if you did enough of them, you'd. DAP is like coffee for humans for yeast. That is a terrifying statement.
Jason's been doing 1.5 runs lately with good. I like a 1.5 run myself.
What does that mean?
So you've heard of things that are double distilled.
Uh-huh.
So we've ran this off.
Uh-huh.
We call these our low wines.
Yep.
Right. And then we've also got another batch of low wines that we did
2
weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. We put all that together, add some water to proof it down to 80 proof, and then run it again.
Oh, okay.
That's a double distillation. So a 1.5 run is we've got these low wines. Instead of adding it with water, we're going to add it with more corn liquor wash.
Oh, okay.
Corn liquor wash, and then all of that in the still. That's a 1.5 run.
And then run it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then then there's the one and done, and it's just you're running it one time. You're not stripping it. You're not going fast. You're going slow and easy. And you get your final product off of the one run. And that's the video I'd like to do, a comparison between the three. But it's hard to compare 3 different runs if they're not the same batch.
Yeah.
That's why I made that 40-gallon batch so that I can, from the same wash, do each type of run and maybe be able to tell the difference.
I want to do like a dueling still live. Like once I get an onion over there and go to make a few runs or something, we should do like a run 5 gallons of this, I'll run 5 gallons of this, and
right.
Just
those little 5-gallon stills, that's probably like a 5-hour
it'd be a long live, yeah.
So we could just do like a 5-hour live.
It'd be a long live.
Sunday.
It'd have to be a benchmark. So like whenever, like how many subscribers do you have right now? It'd have to be like a subscriber goal, like
35,000.
Yeah. Once we like, you're around like 30 right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like once we got to 50,000, I would agree to do like a 5-hour. Like, hey, we're going to sit beside each other, run 2 stills simultaneously,
right,
and just probably not be in good shape by the time it's all said and done. Hi, guys from Little Rock. What's up? Hey, okay. I lived in Little Rock for 3 years. I like Little Rock.
Hydroponic grade calcium nitrate works great too. Cool.
What are we? Man, this is a crazy chat right now. Have you ever heard words like this in any other chat? Just start throwing some big words out to us in the chat. I like them.
Calcium nitrate.
Yeah.
Potassium
ammonium
sorbate.
Phosphate.
Corey Owens, Rooster, or a different Corey M?
Epsom
Corey
salt works.
Is that Rooster? Yeah, let us know, Corey, if you're the same. Epsom salt works good.
I love how everyone's got like a CB
We
radio handle. Like
Yeah.
you pop, most of you pop up as whatever your name is, and then everyone's like, "Oh, what's up, Tin Man?" Supercalifragilistic.
M was supposed to be a question mark. Oh, gotcha.
Also, like that everyone calls Windsong Mama.
Yeah. I think that might have come from me because I call her mama all
For
the
sure,
time.
yeah.
So,
I hope that's where it came from.
Yeah, so everybody else in the MFB, I think they get that.
I currently have a beginner biver still. I like to have options. What kind of still would you all suggest? Cyrus is the still man. He will take it from here.
So, Corey, what kind of liquor do you want to make the most of? Because some stills are better for certain types of liquor and other stills are better for other types of liquor. So if you're talking about something like a gin or a vodka, neutral spirits, then this type of still is really good for that. A tall column, something you can modify and add either bubble plates to or a deflagmator, things like that. That's really good on the gin vodka type stuff.
Still following me? Sorry, I was trying to get out of the way of the still and the camera's tracking me. Oh, here's back to
home. If you, it still wants to do it. Camera
it's back good now. It's fine now. It just took it a second to catch up there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if you like the whiskey, rum, brandy, then a copper still, like a traditional still.
He said mainly bourbon, but would like option to vodka.
Okay. If you wanted the option to do both, then a column still is what you want to get, something with a tall column. Because, like, for example, if I want a whiskey that has
let me get out of the camera.
If I want a whiskey that has the bold flavors and it's not as high in proof, then I can completely remove this column if I want, and I can just put the head on there. So the path from distillation to condensation is very short, so I'll get the most flavors. If I want to go the opposite route and get a really high proof, I lose some of the flavor, but I get a higher proof. I can add in the deflagmator, which
that was right,
allows me to add water to cool it down, so I get forced reflux. So this is a good type of still. A column still is a good choice for what you're talking about, wanting to do both. And if you build it modularly, meaning with the sanitary tri-clamp unions, then you can add and stack and do more with it that way.
I would also say from a starting standpoint with the setup that he was just showing you guys, it's easy to kind of start a piece or two at a time and get the main function of what you need and then add to, like what he's saying. You can add sight glass. You can add deflagmator,
gym basket. There's all kinds of things you can add. If
a lot of add-ons.
The modular.
Plus, the column is like super efficient. Runs like very quickly.
Yeah, this one is. This is a 3-inch column, and it's why this is the one I use for a stripping run because it's really fast.
It's so
like
quick.
This run, it's 6 o'clock, 6:30. So this run was done in like 3 hours. And could have pushed it and got it done quicker, but I was talking and all that. But so yeah, Corey, any kind of column still. So this one is a milk can still that I got from Mile High. Of course, you can use a keg and still have the column design. You can get a copper pot and have a column design. Like just it sounds like whatever you choose, Corey. Just make sure you've got that modular column design. 15.5-gallon keg still and a column. Yeah, that is really an excellent choice. $1 for gallon. It's probably the best value if you can find a used keg for next to nothing. Build your column yourself, and you can be in a 15.5-gallon still for $200.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Vivers are a good choice. The Vivers are an excellent choice to get into the hobby because of the price point. You know, one of those 5-gallon dual pots, 2-piece stills, they're like $75. You can bump up to like the Lombardi style still, which is my suggestion if you're going to get one. But even then, $200, $175 for one of those stills.
There's got to be a guy watching this right now that's like, I got a 1,000-gallon submarine out in the barn.
Yeah.
Where's it? That guy's in here. Where's your head at right now? What do you think about?
Right. The Lombardi has a tri-clamp setup already, which means future modifications are way easier than the little 2-pot or 3-pot setup from Viver.
You talk about just those quick connect like clamps?
Yeah, like these.
Yeah, those are pretty efficient, pretty cool. Like he said, he's got a bunch of stuff to add on his. Like that column, I guess if you added everything you could on there, it could end up being pretty tall with the deflagmator, the sight glass,
Yeah. And
I'm sure there's a head you can add up there on top to get up a little higher. Yeah. So it is kind of cool. It's like an adult Lego set, essentially. I mean, you can kind of, they're really easy to adjust and add to. Do you guys ever mess with the Ozark Still Works sub kegs? Any advantage to that?
I have not seen them.
They don't send them to
I have seen them. They look amazing. I've heard a lot of people talk about them, and Wayne does excellent work. So, you know, I'm sure you can't go wrong with them. I have heard that the advantage to a submarine still, and don't hold me to this because I don't know that this is a fact, but one of the things I've heard is that you can have much more solids in a submarine still because of the shape or whatever. It won't scorch.
Because it's like a bigger surface area on the bottom?
I don't know, but I think it has to do with, because of the size, how everything circulates inside there. Because, you know, the heat, the changes in temperature.
That makes sense to me. Like when that stuff starts to roll on there, I feel like if you have a surface area that's this big and you're cooking pretty good on it and everything's kind of rolling and it doesn't have anywhere to go. But most people that run a submarine still are heating from a small portion on the bottom of it, and you've got all this other surface area here that isn't direct heat. I mean, is that kind of what you're thinking is there?
I mean, I don't have a thinking on it. Like, this is just what I've heard about the submarine style.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's true or not. And I've never run one, so I don't have any experience with it.
I haven't either. I haven't run in 8 or 9 years, and when I did, it was out of the keg. Won't scorch because it rolls the water. That's kind of what that makes sense. I made a small. Yep. There's so many cool setups out there. And Cyrus just got these onions in too, which is kind of cool to see one of those in person.
The Olympic?
Yeah. And they're kind of this cool. Well, here, let me just grab one real quick. I'll show you guys. I'm sure some of you guys have seen them. Oh, this one's already disconnected.
Yeah, so we just got these stills in here at the shop. So we offer them at the home brew center.
Look at this guy.
We have those in 10-gallon and 5-gallon now.
Pretty cool. They're like,
and they make, if whiskey is what you're making, they make excellent whiskey. I don't know what it is about that onion head that. And you've probably seen, you can even buy this onion shape, like Corey was talking, we were talking to Corey about getting a modular still. I can buy an onion head that will fit that column if I want to get the flavor that onion head.
Whoa, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason, it is pretty. The gooseneck. It does have a gooseneck, doesn't it?
And obviously I didn't bring it over here all together because I didn't want to break anything, but here's the worm and pot that comes with it here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool and pretty price friendly too, really.
Yeah. Well, we sell the alembic still. So when you say the onion, as long as you're not just saying the head of that still, we don't sell just the onion heads. If that's what you're asking. I mean, it probably half a point of ABV. It probably does that gooseneck, especially like there's a lot of passive ways you can increase that ABV. So if I'm running that still, I can set up a little fan. I can blow air across that gooseneck, and it's going to drop the proof. Now, once you make that turn, that gooseneck goes up and then it kind of swirls around and does this. Once you make that turn, that point of no return where the vapor either condenses or not, you're not adding any more proof. But that onion head up to that point of no return will add proof if you use some way to create passive reflux. Like with a fan, I can blow a fan across that head. It'll up the proof. I can get a wet towel, a cold wet towel, drape it over that onion head. It'll raise the proof. So you're just creating a cooler area.
Okay.
And
you're making it basically condense quicker.
You're making it condense quicker, and that way only the lighter alcohols will make it through that area instead of getting condensed down. So the heavier alcohols that have more water attached to them will fall back down.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Food for thought.
Yeah, Winsong still is the alembic. She calls her Tildy Boo.
Jason Acosta said, Cyrus, you like a worm or a Liebig? What do you mean by that, brother? What do you mean by that? No, I'm just kidding.
I prefer the Liebig. So before I would always use a worm, but before I was also in the middle of the woods with an open flame and no electricity. So my only choice was a worm. But, in a shop like this where I've got electricity, I want a worm. I'll hook up a pump and make a worm. It's just too much easier. That's my preference, though. What's your thoughts on a Hulu C2120 still? I don't know that one. I don't know it, Corey.
I know what all of those words mean separately, but when you've combined them the way you have, I don't know what any of them mean. Are you guys going to do the Ozark Moonshine and Music Festival November 1st through the 2nd?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind driving up there for a day, but I think
it'd be cool to go walk around.
I would love to. It's hard for us to get away.
If you go, I'll go.
Do what?
Hard commit there. If you go, I'll go.
Well, I don't know if I can go. Like,
I don't
either. It depends on, how are the dogs acting that day?
Oh, yeah.
Stupid shit like that,
November 1st through the 2nd. What is that? Is that a Friday and a Saturday?
It's over. Is it over by Russellville?
I think it's in Ozark.
No. Is it in Ozark? I don't think so.
Are you guys going to Ozark Moonshine and Music Festival? Yeah, let's get some more info on that. Since the harsh alcohols vaporize at a lower temp, wrapping it with a cold wet rack causes the temp to drop, making a poor man's deflagmator sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Clinton, Arkansas.
Clinton. Oh, that's up close to starts with an S. Help me out.
Cersei.
Hey, no. Hey, okay. There's a Shirley. That's up there. Shirley and Clinton. Okay, so Clinton's like, man, it's like 2.5 hours from here, I think.
Is it?
I think so. Friday and Saturday, yeah.
I mean, I'd love to go up there on the Saturday.
Is it a kind of a big deal? A lot of people there?
I had a buddy that went last year, and he said it was not as big of a deal as he was hoping it was going to be.
Okay.
Now, that's kind of a suggestive statement.
Right.
Subjective statement, but.
Highway 65, yes, big deal. Okay. We may have to go check it out. You guys are talking about the Tao method. Yep. Lone Star band will be there.
I might go, if I can. It's always, for me, it's like, I don't know until the week of.
I can go for sure. I'm not going to go unless I go with Cyrus. I'm just keep kidding about that. But no, I'd like to go. That'd be fun. Wet towel for stripping or spirit run?
Well, I mean,
again, I think it's
stripping for me. I'm just stripping the alcohol, so I don't care what the proof is and nothing. So I don't use any reflux when I'm stripping. So for me, it would just be on a spirit run.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your approach to stripping runs is get it in there, heat it up, get it out of there. Like, I'm not really trying to do anything crazy with just a stripping run.
With a stripping run, I'm just trying to do it as quick as I can do it.
Yeah. Let me get the alcohol out of it and go about my day.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. I mean, some people make cuts with their stripping run.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you can do it any way you want to do it.
Since I live in Florida, I've been spending too much money on ice to
win some.
It's not like he's trying to date my house. Absolutely. Okay, now I'm only going if Windsong goes, okay? Absolutely no reflex on stopping runs. How about one of your bourbon kit? Oh, hey, okay, shout out real quick. I bought one of your bourbon kits online. Really awesome and great instructions. Thank you.
Great. Hey, okay. I appreciate you. Hey, okay. Do you have another name on, are you in the MFB group? Am I going to know you by a different name if you want to put it on here? I have sold a lot of those bourbon kits. People really like them. And I do put a lot of time into the instructions. I know sometimes you can buy grain kits online. Hell, sometimes you don't even get instructions with them. You just get the grain. But I do try and put a lot of time into the instructions and creating the guide sheets and doing everything I can to help you be successful in your run, especially as a beginner. But most of what we do here on Still in the Clear is all for the beginners anyway. So,
yeah. But obviously, if you've been listening to this conversation tonight and you're somewhere in the beginning stages of any kind of whatever fermentation you're doing, you've heard us get into some kind of in-depth topics as far as yeast and temperatures and different stages of fermentation and adding this and et cetera, et cetera. But it all comes back to the basics of a good foundation, which those kits, that's how they're so important, is that they help you to get down the fermentation process and ease into and just follow this step by step until you do it a few times. Then things become second nature, and that they're super helpful with that part of it.
Okay, hey, okay, I got you, brother.
And the weekly emails later have been awesome. That's nice, man. I bet that means a lot to Cyrus because he puts a lot of work into that kind of stuff. It's kind of, to some extent, a little thankless at times. So
no, I do love to hear that what I'm doing is helpful. I do enjoy hearing it.
Lucky D said, Still in the Clear has prices that are hard to beat. Heck, I couldn't make the Bazooka filter fermenter drain for the price Cy sells it for. Yeah, he's pretty conscious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's because I buy the parts. I buy those parts 100 at a time, so I get a better deal than you can get if you buy them 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, Cyrus and I have kind of talked about that a little bit. He tries to be extremely price friendly to his customers because he knows how it is. I mean, I'm not anyone who's made out of money, and most of us that are in this hobby aren't. So every little bit helps. Cool.
Yeah, Clinton brought that up a few weeks ago, and I'm doing it now. Just helps keep your recirculating water cool.
Super efficient. I hate buying ice. I was telling him when I noticed his that I probably got 10 jugs in my freezer right now. Every time I use some apple juice, all this stuff that I ferment that I'm starting my ferments with for my wine, I just empty those out, fill them full of water, freeze them. Bulk like Costco. That's right, baby. Shutting her down?
Shutting it down. That's the last jar right there. Looks like we got, you know, a gallon and
close to half. By the time you add that other in there,
the other one in there.
you'd be at a gallon and a half ish.
Yeah, so about a gallon and a half on that stripping run.
That's awesome. How much did you start off with? 10?
6. 6.5 gallons.
10.
And, you know, I spilled half a gallon.
Yeah. It wasn't half.
I spilled maybe half a pint all total.
Small ice machine, small ice making machine has become super useful. Yeah, Scott, probably invaluable.
Yeah, and I also have considered doing a long time ago. George Duncan over at Barley and Hops did a video where he made a water chiller out of a AC window unit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I've thought a lot of times I'd like to make one of those. Just like that would
nice
just be cool.
Be like plugging in and
right.
Yeah. So, but Lucky D said, but how does everyone ferment in the heat of summer? Well, I ferment everything indoors. I'm not running a super huge operation, and I'm making wine. So I have a winemaking closet where I have about 1, 2, 3, 4. I have about 6 carboys that I'll have going, maybe a fermentation bucket. I just keep it all in the closet. So I don't ever have to worry about the outside temp.
I can tell you this. I have fermented hundreds of gallons in the shade in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
When it's 100 degrees outside, 100 plus sometimes.
Not a problem.
In the shade.
Yeah.
People say that if you ferment at too high of a temperature, you get off flavors. And me personally, I have not found that to be true. And like I said, for the longest time, everything I fermented outside. We did do some fermentation inside during winter, but it would just outside.
Also, at a certain point, you're just going to have to pick up a little bit of a moonshiner's mentality in that just run it, man. I mean, yeah, we're trying to get better and but I think we tend to, as vintners or distillers, that, you know, we worry too much. I know I do, which is a good problem to have. I mean, it's just you're probably being mindful of your process and you're wanting to be better than wherever you're at now, and that's probably a good thing. But at a certain point, it's just almost kind of like for lack of a better words, just a fuck it mentality where you're just like, hey, let me run this, let me see what it does, and not do something in the future that hurt me. Now, that said, you probably at some point could have ran in a high temperature and maybe you didn't get a good quality run. I don't know. Everyone's experience is different, but
everyone's experience is different. Everyone's taste buds are different. So, like when I talk about the things that I do, I don't typically talk about them in the sense that this is the right way and this is the wrong way.
Yeah.
This is just the way that I do it.
Yep.
This is the way that I know how to do it. This is what I know happens when you do this. And, you know, everything else is up to you, your own preference.
Yeah.
I like single pot still runs above a double distillation. Some people like a double distillation. So, you know, it's just preference. And sometimes for me, the fun part of the hobby is the experimentation.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me to have the most fun, I have to do the most iterations. I have to do the most experiments. Right.
Yeah.
For some people, the fun part of the hobby is drilling down into the details. But when you do that, you don't get to do as many runs.
Yeah.
You don't get to do as many experimentations because you're drilling down into the minutia, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fun to some people. For me, it's the experimentation. So I have to give up the drilling down into the details so that I can have more runs.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, for me, you know, you could say a motto would be good is better than not done.
Yeah.
Right. If I spend too much time worrying about too many of the details, I never get to it. So good is better than that. Good is good enough in a sense.
That's the run it mentality that I'm talking about. Like, I would never let a worry of mine or a fear of mine keep me from starting a fermentation or trying something. I mean, you're going to not everything's going to go perfect, easy, great, smooth, but I mean, that's the hobby. You take the good with the bad, and I'm never going to not make a run because I'm scared of something.
Right.
Not saying that you are, but I know that, certainly for the beginners, a fear of, am I doing this wrong? Am I going to mess this up? That keeps a lot of people from taking that first initial step.
Yeah, absolutely.
The beginner kits that Cyrus has put together and the instructions that we were talking about earlier, they are to encourage those new members to, get out there, go do a run. Just try it.
So many of the people, because I designed the channel the way I did, I get a lot of conversations with people who are beginners, people who haven't even started yet, emails, texts, comments on videos. So I talk to a lot of beginners, and all the time I hear, I'm going to do it. I'm not done doing my research yet. And let me tell you something. You will learn more just doing some runs and screwing them up than you will learn reading articles, watching videos, and all of that. You just jump in there, get it done, and do it, and know right up front, I'm going to screw some stuff up, and that's okay, because you're going to learn. You're going to talk to people, especially if you're in the Moonshine for Beginners group. You're going to talk to people that go, oh, well, what you did wrong is this, or you might have done this, or whatever. But just jumping in there and doing it, you learn way more than this idea that I got to research a bunch of stuff. And most of that, I think, comes from this idea that they could make something that might kill somebody. It's dangerous, and that's just not really the case.
Worst case scenario, you're going to give someone the bubble guts, okay? And you're going to know instantly.
Right.
Dude, hey, okay, $20 super chat.
Hey, okay, I really appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
What the heck, brother?
We'll get to buy some supplies with that, and keep doing what we're doing. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
That's awesome, man.
The idea that you have to learn everything you need to know before you start is really just a what do they call it? Analysis paralysis. It paralyzes you from moving forward.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to feel like, I've been doing this a long time. There's still a bunch of stuff I don't know. You're always going to feel like you could learn more.
Well, and to that end, I feel like we're talking about sometimes beginners will get held up right there. I think to a certain extent, there are people that have been doing this years that have not done something or not tried something because they're scared about it.
Yeah.
This different. If you're one of these creatures of habit, okay, that have done the same thing over and over again, and you're really accustomed to your run, there's probably a fermentation out there that you haven't done because it's just different, and you're a little worried about it.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways, no matter how long you've been in it. See you, brother.
See you later, Shane.
Good seeing you, Shane. Thanks for stopping.
Yeah, Winsong says do your research while you're working your steel, right? Like when you're babysitting your steel, you got lots of time.
Gallon glass jugs cost an arm and a half a leg. $80 for 8, I guess is what he's saying, is about the best price I found.
Yeah, that's about right.
Places, or it's about the cost I'll find. Yeah, it seems
no, eight of them for $80. Because here in the shop, if you buy one, it's $11.85. So
unless you got an ABV Society discount,
right,
then it's 10% off that. But I should have got started sooner instead of just thinking about doing it. Yeah, Jason, that's how most of us.
Yeah, we all feel that.
Put it off too long. Think about all of the delicious wine that I could not only consume myself, which is the main reason that I make wine, but I have a lot of fun sharing it with people.
Yeah,
I have just as much fun giving away wine, and the holidays. We're gonna get everybody I know. If you know me, spoiler alert, for Christmas, you're getting about 2 bottles of wine and a little thing, and. I have more fun giving it out than I do drinking it. So, well, that's not true. I had a lot of fun drinking it. I like to try my own product.
Yeah.
You know? If your town is weird, get the jars and absorbic acid with it. Everyone will know you're canning.
Right.
Oh, you talking about you got the old general store down there. You're trying to kind of pull the wool over them. I see.
I mean, I get looks in the store. I get looks that people look at me like, oh, I know what you're doing. I mean, why else would you buy 3 cases of mason jars and 75 pounds of sugar, right?
I do a lot of canning, okay, and some of that stuff's sweet.
Right.
Brian D said, nothing good is cheap and nothing cheap is good, right? Well, maybe. I would have to say, though, I have this wine that I've been drinking throughout the live here. This was not $20 a pound grapes ordered in from, France. This is great value grape juice. I kind of, and some of us do. I'm trying to make the cheapest run of 5 or 6 gallons of wine at a time that I can, including the price of the bottle. I'm trying to get that number down as cheap as I can, just as a fun little kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, excursion.
Right.
And so I would have to say that as cheap as this wine is to make, that it is getting somewhere. And again, this is just the first run of this that I'm really playing with and tweaking. But, I've paid $40 a bottle for a glass of wine at dinner that was just as good as this. I mean, that's a perception thing as well.
So Corey says, my main concern with the water chiller is, will it keep the water nice and cool in the cooler since I'm recirculating the hot water back in from? So your trick on that is going to be volume. So your recirculating reservoir, the more volume you have, the longer it will stay cool. And if you have a chiller, you can start chilling that water 6 hours before you make your run. You can get that water pretty cold to start with. It also depends on what type of run you're making, how big your still is, how long you're going to be running, and what size the reservoir is. Those are all the variables.
Clinton said, here no one cares. Here no one cares. Here no one cares here. Colorado is weird, though, as weed is legal, but no one enforces stilling. Well, Clinton, that's not a lot different than a lot of states where people who join us are from. The basic reasons for that is, ATF and law enforcement have bigger fish to fry than some guy making and consuming his own product on his own land. And, it's just also there's kind of some jurisdictions that are saying, these laws aren't enforced all the time. So now they're unenforceable in some areas. And anyway, there's a big legal discussion there, but yeah, bottom line is you're right. No one cares.
So, hey, okay, we don't have those stills listed on the website. They're an in-shop item. So we have a brick and mortar store called Homebrew Center, and that's where we sell those stills. We don't have them on the website. And if I can figure out shipping, I will add them to the website. You can also go to whiskeystillpro.com to get the exact still.
Yeah, you should call the shop. I don't know, tomorrow. You should call the shop sometime tomorrow. Hey, okay, and just let them know where you're getting it shipped to and how far away it is. And yeah, so I think your main concern there is just going to be however much it is to ship it to you.
Yeah, so like if you call the shop tomorrow, Homebrew Center in Fort Smith, Arkansas, if you go to homebrewcenter.com, our phone number's on the website. Just give me a call
on some of your socials,
and I can get you.
Yeah.
Give me a call. I'll get your address. I can figure out what the shipping would be, and I can give you a price.
They're about 85 degrees when stilling. Yeah, you guys got to do some more work on your wives, okay? I've got mine where she doesn't care if I do it in the closet, and it's kind of separated from the house. I like that consistency of that indoor climate control. I don't know that it matters. I don't know that it makes a lick of difference, but that's where she lets me do it, and I'm grateful for it. If you're watching this, Reagan, thank you. I love you. Washington is the same.
My wife doesn't mind ferments in the house.
No. Which, I honestly, because I run everything through an airlock, about 6 gallons a time, maybe have 5 or 6 going at any given time. Just don't brag to a narc that you have 6 gallons. No, not me. I don't know if you're talking about someone else in the chat. I don't have that much. I've got, at any given time, I've got less than 30 gallons probably just working. I've got a bunch put up, obviously, but if you don't sell, no one is likely to bother. Yeah, man. I mean, just don't cheat the tax, man. You're not going to have any issues. I'll just come get it. I'm in Little Rock. Dude, Hey OK's in Little Rock. I forgot that. You said that earlier.
Come see us, man.
Yeah, come on by. Come by on a Thursday and you can hang out with us for a little bit. Or Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, the ABV Society meets also once a month at 6 p.m., first Tuesday of every month.
Once a month at 6 p.m. and then 6 to whenever we close. Thursday through Saturday, there's private storage for your product that you can sit around here and try and drink and just bullshit with us. That's honestly what we do. But yeah, you also get 10% off in store. So, sign up for that. If you're buying enough, it's going to pay for itself. And then you've got a free bar to go to 3 days a week and hang out. And you got a monthly meeting to go to. We're going to feed you and hang out and talk. And I have a 90-quart cooler I use. Wish I could share a pic to show how well it works.
What is that, 25 gallons, 90 quarts?
That sounds right. I mean,
that's pretty big.
I'm thinking of it in terms of aquarium. I have a 100-quart cooler, and I'm thinking of it in terms of aquarium. If you smell long enough, you're going to be...
You get nose blind to it.
R.I.P. popcorn, that's right. This was the last damn run of liquor I'm ever going to make. Yeah, popcorn, for sure. What an OG. What a cool guy. Also, what an interesting guy. What a break the mold type kind of human being.
For sure.
Also, a lot of us know at least one or two guys, maybe not just like Popcorn Sutton, but I know a couple old men from Southern Sebastian and Northern Scott County that are kind of in that mold.
Right.
Hey, okay, cool. I'll call you guys. Awesome, man. That'd be cool.
We're here 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Dude, the 10-gallon is beautiful. I'll be honest with you. You saw it on video. It is.
It's better in person.
It's hammered copper too. So like they kind of really did some time making it look pretty. It's honestly something that is as big as it is, and it's not super huge. That I feel like I could have kind of sitting around in my house, and my wife's not going to really be too upset about it. Like it looks good.
Yeah. Well, that's also something Richard was saying. He wants to get one of those, like they make those stills in like a 2-gallon version, and he wants to get one just to put in the living room. It's like decoration.
Yeah, no, they're badass. Nice. Yeah. Midnight Runner said, "You're sitting beside a legend. I'm gonna go ahead and assume you're talking to me, brother," and I agree, man.
Yep.
Yeah. No, man. Cyrus is a wealth of knowledge, and glad to be in his orbit, and glad he listens to all my stupid jokes and questions. It's kind of and we got kind of a natural relationship here, okay? Cyrus knows a lot. I mean, I'm not going to say Cyrus knows everything, because Cyrus will tell you he doesn't know everything.
Yeah.
But Cyrus is a good person to learn from, as you guys well know. And for some reason, he kind of tolerates my stupid hijinks and asking him all these dumb questions. So yeah, couldn't agree more.
Well, you're doing some kind of hand movement. That camera picks it up. It always wants to track you.
I gotta keep my hands on
I don't
the
know
table
what it
here.
is.
Look, it's still doing it.
Yeah.
That's back normal.
Well, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to shut this down, and the jar, I already shut it down. I shut down the whole system. We've already poured our last jar in.
She ain't back there cooking no more.
So we're going to go ahead and shut this down, and we will see you guys next week, every Thursday, 5 p.m. I'm glad you guys hung out with us.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys being in here, and It's cool talking to all of you. I'm glad I got to meet a bunch of you, and we'll see you next Thursday.